Hello. Oops. You guys can see my Google Drive. That's me. That's my fiance. All right. Tonight I played the fourth round of the Boylston Chess Club Tuesday Night Swiss. I'm actually kind of curious if there's anything important before training, over the board games, robbing those expenses, my food journal. I've been keeping a food journal. PayPal invoices, that's for my business. Workout spreadsheet, I have hurt my back, unfortunately, and so my workouts have been not doing great. Wedding budgeting, I've got some D&D resources, and then a food journal, some additional stuff. This is for, I was tracking calories religiously. I stopped doing that about a month ago, maybe two, and then I was tracking what I was eating. And then here's just some engagement photos. Pretty nice photos, if you ask me. All right, so nothing really sensitive in my Google Drive, so I don't need to start over again. Wonderful. All right, Justin Guerra talked to me before the round started. It's a very small group because it is December 23rd. You know, a lot of people probably traveling for Christmas break, things like that. So there's a very low turnout in the club. And Justin said, hey, Rob, why don't you just stream? And I said, Justin, the last time I streamed, I got all of 5 viewers, 6 viewers, which is actually a white lie. It's true. Sometimes I got 5 or 6 viewers. But most of the time I got like 3 viewers. I don't think I averaged 5. I think my average was 3 when I looked at my what's it called? Dashboard confessionals. Anyway, not important. What is important is I'm streaming. I don't even know if I'm going to look at chat because I doubt anyone's really going to show up. But maybe one of you yodelers, are going to show up in my chat. Again, I try to, basically, after I play at the club, I come home. Sometimes I veg out a little bit. Sometimes I eat something. For example, I did eat something when I got back. It's sleeting out. It's gross. And then I try to get to the recap. So it's like 11 o'clock now. I generally film at any time between 11 and midnight, and the recaps have been running just over an hour. So you guys do the math. And then I upload them, and that's pretty much my night. So, where do I begin? First off, so I'm going to be streaming. We're going to see if this is any better. I'm still going to input it or file it away to YouTube. And this will be a work in progress. Let's see if this looks pretty good. So I'm going to say a few different things. First off, Haley was my opponent. I was poised to play against Nathan Jones, but he was a no-show tonight. I guess he, called in for a bye, of course. But it meant the pairings were mixed up, matched up, mismatched, snip, snap, and that's fine. I planned on being black. I did every week. Some weeks more than others, I've been doing prep work around 5 p.m. and then going to club at like 6:30. So I've been working for about an hour and a half, like studying before my game. And that's what I've been doing pretty much on average. That's the amount of work I've been putting in for the record. I don't know if other people are doing more, if other people are doing less. Some people probably just show up and play. Other people probably practice a lot more than me. If you hear the shrieking in the background, Sebastian and Simon, that's what I named my littlest one, are getting along great, but they're playing a lot. So they've been like wrestling, and right now they're actually whacking each other in the hallway, which is very, very cute. Oh, there they go. He's been so sweet and tender to the kittens. He could totally eat them in half because he's more than twice their size, but he's been a playful older brother. However, they are also being really loud, so if that's kind of in the background, mea culpa, my apologies. So all I'm going to say is Haley is a inconsistent player. I think she would agree with that. I know she watches this, so hello, Haley, thanks for the game. And she gets a little salty after the games or so. I had to really needle her to go over this one. I said, come on, Haley, don't you want to go over this with me? I'm a nice guy. We can have fun just analyzing. But anyway. It doesn't mean I won or whatnot, but I didn't lose. I'll say that much. So, with that in mind, I may have gotten very, very lucky this game as well. So maybe I'm in a good mood for that reason. Having said that, Haley's playstyle, this is the second time I played her. Both times I've been stuck as the black pieces. I wasn't able to prepare for her because, again, I thought I was playing Nathan Jones. And I think her playstyle, again, I mentioned inconsistent, is she's... Hold on one second. I actually have to stop there meowing. Guys, enough. Come on. No more. That's enough playtime for you guys. Yep. You guys are making so much noise, little boy. Alright. Very, very cute, but when I just want to film a chess video, you can't be jumping all over your brother. Oh, by the way, a little cat story. I know I'm really skipping, not getting to the important bits of chess, but he's been hunting down my sponge. He keeps, Oopsies. He's been attacking the sponge. Oh, he's going right for Sebastian. He's been eating the sponge, taking it out of the sink, dragging it all over my plate. So there he goes. He just tackled Sebastian. All right, whatever. I'm going to let them play. So anyway, Haley will talk about how she's, will play sometimes like someone who's 800 or 900, and she's like capable of losing to them. She basically has capabilities of blundering a lot. She also can play brilliantly. I know that, I think recently, she beat Steven. I haven't had the privilege of playing him yet, but he's oftentimes high 1800s. And so and I've seen some of her games, I've seen some of her ideas, and and in this one tonight, it's very obvious she's very inconsistent. I'm even going to say, Haley, maybe this is laying on too thick, but for the potential for greatness, but her baseline, I think, is not as high as mine, if that makes sense. So hopefully, I think arrogance is not a good thing, and I don't think this is really much of that, with sort of ego, but I think on average, I play better moves, but Haley definitely could be better than me. So I think that's probably pretty fair. This game was no exception. I was surprised at a few different moments in the game where she found a brilliant move, a really good move, and in the mid-game where I thought that the game was pretty boring, she was able to actually generate some real threat, and I think that's a testament to her skill. So let's see how it unfolds. For the record, we got to a very interesting spot on literally move 5, and we looked at the computer because we were kind of curious if she made the right decision or what the computer says, and she didn't go into this line, but I'm about to show it to you. So that's the only spot where I know what the computer evaluation says. That's my preamble for everything else is raw. So after move 5 or 6, I have no idea what the computer will say. I of course will make my predictions. I did not go over any of the game on the tee. I very much also my back has been hurting me a little bit. Last year I hurt my back. I then got acupuncture for a bit. It was brilliant. It helped me completely. But ever since I got the kittens, I've been kind of chasing them and stuff, and I actually pulled my back, believe it or not. It's kind of embarrassing. It's a big reason why I haven't been lifting, actually, because I've literally just been laying on a heating pad a lot. So I will say during the game, it wasn't a big thing for me, but throughout the game, my back was a little bit uncomfortable. And that probably took away a tiny bit of my concentration, but really only a tiny bit. All right. The last thing as well is in my training, I'm going to show you some of my notes. Look at this. I'm showing my notes. I was going over because Nathan Jones plays e4. I know he plays e4. I know he plays e4 gambit type lines, and I wanted to go over. Again, I told people at least through 7 moves. And if you see this is known as the Philidor Lion variation. I was very prepared up through here. And it's very important, this move c6, as you can see in this diagram. Kind of what I went over. I'm showing this because this is my prep work, this is my practice, this is kind of how I was training myself. Because we're going to arrive at a position almost exactly like this. So keep this position in mind. I literally went over this before the game. I was kind of drilling myself. I knew the evaluation sort of out to this point, but yeah. All right. So Haley plays e4. I answer the perk. The perk has been my go-to line. When I first started playing over the board, I was a French player. That's, of course, e6 with the idea of d5. Online, I tried a little bit of Caricon. I don't like it. I've practiced a little bit of the Scandinavian. Don't love it. I have played 0 games at e4, e5, and I'm going to just tell you guys something. I'm never going to play e4, e5. So there you have it. I don't want to get into the whole strategic reason for why. I feel like this preamble's already been long enough. Okay, now he's playing with Eliza. He's tackling her. My God, he's got so much energy. He also will only eat adult food. He refuses his kitten food. So there you have it. After e4, d6, Haley plays knight f3. Oh, excuse me. Yes, knight f3. I think in this position, with the, again, it starts as the Geller system. It's not. It's going to transpose into the Philidor Lion variation. I know this. I think this is the second most common move. Just playing d4 is the most common move, for the record. But again, these are the 2 most common moves. They're book. I practiced this. It's not I was whoa, what is this happening here? I answer with knight f6. Already know it's the best computer move because I know this stuff. I guess that in c6 is fine too. But that would be the check variation of the perk, which I've looked at and I don't like as much, but I'm capable of playing it, I would say. Haley answers with knight c3. And for the record, most people again go d4 to kind of get that structure. Excuse me, no, not in that position because I'm attacking the pawn. No, this is right. She plays. Sorry, there's a funny move ordering where we go from this position into a line of practice with an e4, d4 type variation. Anyway, I know that c5 is the best move slightly, I mean, really. But the problem why I've avoided it is that actually transposes to a lot of Sicilian positions, and I don't know the Sicilian at all. I have played 0 games of c5, actually, against e4. I told you guys what I've played, practice both online and in person, where I'm pretty good with the French, the perk, Scandinavian, but and even the Caricon, but I have no Sicilian games. So instead I play the second best, e5. I know this, kind of striking at the center. I'm trying to get through the opening theory as quickly as I can, but because I'm going to get to a very key moment almost immediately. Now Haley plays d4, which is the best move. I do know this. Now we've gotten back to the Philidor. It will be the lion soon. Technically, they call this the Nimzovich variation. If I took, that's the exchange variation, which is totally reasonable. But I know that my best move is knight b to d7, which is what I play, for the record, because I know this stuff. For the record, what did I want to say about this position? Yeah, the move ordering was slightly funky, because normally people go e4, then d4, then knight f3, then knight c3. So I had to do like Haley breaks down all the timing for moves. I only wrote down when she passed 30 minutes, when I passed 30 minutes, when she passed an hour, when I passed an hour. Although I don't think I passed an hour this game. I think I ended with more than 30 minutes on the clock, for the record. But she's very specific and exact. So the move that I thought felt like she thought for a while, because I was very nervous, apparently it was only like a 4 or 5 minute think, according to her notes. So, whatever. I'm going to use my memory as the gauge, but just keep in mind my memory is a little bit faulty, as everyone's is, something like that. But I do my best. All right. With knowing that this is the best move, knight b d7, it looks kind of funky because you box in your bishop, but I just know that, yep, there we go, finally, the line variation. I just know that this is right. I've kind of studied how to get to this position and some of the ideas. So again, none of this is like me coming up with a board. I just know kind of banging it through. However, at this point, and this is move 5, Haley plays bishop to g5. And remember, if you guys see the position on the board, bishop g5, this is totally normal. This is, c4. What am I talking about? G5. Bishop c4. Thank you. G5 is over here. That's the pin. Once again, if you guys look at this position as I switch, this is a position I've studied. So if you guys can tell, the move I'm supposed to play here probably, maybe, is c6. Or bishop out. So c6 is up there, so c6 is not right. No, I need to defend the pawn. What am I talking about? Bishop e7. So I do play bishop e7. What am I talking about? I don't even know. All right, well, whatever. That's kind of this is where we've gone now to. Anyway, I tanked for a while, and the reason why, by the way, I do play bishop e7, and this is very common in the Philidor. You do this so that you can castle. Some lines I like g6 with the fianchetto, but as soon as I play this, I saw that she has. Wait, not here, right? Did I already mess up the moves? Knight c3, knight c3. Bishop. No, this is correct. Yeah, and the reason why is I saw, before I played this, I was very nervous about a certain move that she could have played here. For the record, after bishop c4, bishop e7, Haley, this is where Haley does a long think and she does castle. Oh, I was going to turn off the engine. Right. Let's turn off that engine for now. Ah, I caught it. In fairness, I had looked at this already with Haley. We went over the game, but I'm going to have the engine off until I turn it back on, obviously. All right. Hopefully that's good for my computer as well. Looks like we are streaming. The streaming sauce. We'll see how this goes. The reason why I was so worried and she castled, I was relieved, is because I played bishop e7. I wondered in this position if possibly I should have gone h6, because I didn't know if I should avoid. And I saw this line. What I calculated on her time and mine is bishop takes pawn, king takes obviously. Knight takes, knight check. Now, if I move to f8, that's a blunder. I lose the game on the spot. She plays knight e6. I would get forked. I would lose. And I was trying to tell if going up or back was correct. I didn't think going up was right because it would make my king in the middle of nowhere, and she could still play knight e6 with tempo, attacking my queen, so I'd be out there and very exposed. So I immediately discounted king g6. And I looked at king e8, but I was worried if I go king e8, then she plays this, and boom, I lose my queen. So I thought the only move here, and what I calculated, was to play king to g8. And then I thought, okay, she could play this move anyway, knight e6. I obviously can't go all the way to f8, because then she would just take it. So this is forced to e8, and then she would take this pawn. And she's attacking my rook and my queen. She's forking them. And again, because we looked, apparently the computer says this is the best move, which makes sense. We're kind of bearing down on her position. I'm not sure what I would have done. I probably would have played queen d8, but when we got here, I would have thought again. And then she could take this rook. And I saw out to this position, all right, the sacrifice. I know the computer says that this is actually slightly better for black, but when I saw this at the board, I was scared out of my mind. I assumed I would win this knight. It would be the 2 pieces for the rook and some pawns. Basically the idea of almost b6, bishop b7. things like that. But I thought this was really scary because I have trouble developing my rook. My king has been moved. Is not safe anymore. She has threats. She's got free development with castling. And material-wise, it's pretty equal. So I also thought she was going to go to this because based on what I've seen of Haley as far as throwing pieces around, I thought she would opt for the more aggressive line. Because this is very aggressive. This is kind of crazy. And I got worried because I haven't played that position at all. So when Haley castles, so that's the spot where it felt like it was 10 minutes of the board, where I breathed a sigh of relief. By the way, castling does end up being the best move according to the computer, for the record, so Haley did play the better move, but I was terrified of the bishop sack. I still considered playing h6 anyway, but I thought it was too passive here, and given she's allowing me to castle, I know the bishop sacrifice doesn't work, so here I just respond castling, and I kind of wiped the sweat off my brow, because I thought I was out of the woods. That, like, all right, I've gotten out of the opening, I know this, again, we've arrived at, like, a similar position here, that in this spot, that my, that I'm basically, I'm not equal, but I've almost equalized already, and I'm comfortable here. If she takes, I know I'm supposed to go pawn takes. If she pushes, that's actually a weakening move, and I'm fine with that. I actually would go knight to c5, try to gang up on the e4 pawn right away, kind of make it tough. Maybe she plays backwards moves. And otherwise, I just try to develop and take space. Anyway, sorry, again, I ate a little bit and I have some tea. Yeah. And then now Haley plays bishop to g5, and there's another motif in the Philidor, which is a knight sacrifice on e4 when you're ganging up here. It doesn't work here, because she would take back with a knight, and then both knights are attacking this bishop. But it's something that basically, as soon as this is played, I'm thinking about for like every move, the next bunch of moves, for the record. Now, if you look at my diagram, e4 training, here we go. This is a similar position. The only difference is rather than playing the bishop out there, the best move, I believe, is rook e1. And in this position, I should be playing c6. And like this is what I reviewed. This is the exact position. So when she instead plays bishop g5, I think to myself, am I supposed to play c6? That's the first thing that pops in my mind. Then I say, I don't think I'm supposed to play h6 because I don't mind the bishop here because I think in some lines I can take this e4 pawn and the tactics, it will work. So this is my first thought of the game. And the reason it's my first thought is we're out of my training. We're out into actual thinking mode. And we're actually, here to play some chess. Here to play some power poker. And I think for a while, again, she's recording the time of moves, so I'm kind of curious, when I say a while. But this felt like my first real think of the game, other than being panicked and more or less thinking on her time about how good or bad the sacrifice would be. And I play a5. Now, the reason why I play a5 is I'm looking at a few moves in this spot. So I calculate, I look at c6 as one idea. Okay, I'm just going to play it so it's on the board. I look at knight b6 to attack the bishop, and I'll show out a little variation. I looked at h6, and I looked at the move I played, which is a5. So let me go through each of them. I thought if we got c6, I didn't think this would be bad. I wasn't really sure, again, what she would do. I thought, again, maybe just like rook e1, we kind of play this out just to over-support this pawn, so I never really have the that move there. And I thought this was fine. My idea then is to go b5 and just kind of build an attack. Maybe I should have done this, for the record. I thought a5 is more accurate, obviously. With knight b6, I rejected it because I assumed she would just play bishop b3 immediately. And in a lot of lines where I basically, what I was calculating, not here because they never work, but I'll show soon, where there's these crazy trades. All right, I may as well just show it here, just to give you an idea. So when this is played, before I go a4, I'm calculating out takes, and if she doesn't, the whole time, I spent a long time calculating, because I thought if she plays knight takes here, now I have this move. And I was spending 10, maybe 15 minutes on this, honestly, because it felt like the clear move. If she just takes here, I just take there. So I assumed that she would have to take my my knight. I thought best move would be attack, take the knight. 1 second. You all right? No, just cats are just knocking over everything. I think they just knocked over a laundry bag, or laundry basket. Anyway, I saw then bishop takes, knight takes, bishop takes, knight takes. And in this line, maybe I'd be attacking the bishop. I thought she'd have to draw back here, but I'm still going to be losing this pawn. I didn't really see a good way of defending it. Yeah, I mean, also in these lines, I mean, here she just takes. I thought that eventually I'm going to get my knight trapped, and I'd actually lose material here. Anyway, so I calculated all this stuff. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess I'm up a pawn here. Maybe I'm going to lose this pawn, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, I calculated all this stuff, and after all those calculations, like, none of it seemed to work, and it was predicated upon her taking with the knight. I then looked at takes, and if she takes with the queen, I've centralized her queen. I thought positionally she was getting all her pieces in the middle, that she would be better there. So I then ruled out pawn takes. I then did all those calculations where I thought, well, what if I play a5 first? And my reasoning here is in the line where then I swing the knight to b6 and she retreats. I can trap her bishop with a4. Because, again, I'd be defending with both the knight and the rook, and she'd have the 2, and she would lose material. So I saw that I could play a5 first, and it kind of forces a4, and I thought now when I move my knight to b6, obviously she would have to backtrack her bishop, but also I have an ever target going on a4. So those are all the stuff going through my mind. With h6, again, I thought I wanted to leave her bishop dangling here so that I'd always have the option of taking on e4. Yeah, was there anything else I should review? I just said why I didn't like e takes. I thought queen takes is strong here. c6 I know is the move, but I think was fine. But then oh, right. Basically, I just thought with a5 there were more chances for her to make a mistake. Like, retreating the bishop right away is quite bad. And, of course, if she locks it up, well, I thought this would be fine for me. Haley didn't think very long. She plays a4. I think it is the best move in the position. I don't know. We'll find out what the computer says. And now I'm still in the same spot. Am I supposed to take? And all those calculations, all the stuff about trying to take remain true. But now I'm thinking, is there a way that I can deflect this knight? Again, I figured if I played the knight to b6, this was forced. Again, if she drops all the way back to a2, I figured that was a blunder, and I would be able to win material. I also thought that I needed to develop my light square bishop, and I thought d7 was the natural square. So then again, I'd have a target on a4. What else was I thinking? I thought in some lines I want to play c6, d5. I thought the knight on b6 kind of helped me do that. Anyway, all those reasons, that looked good to me. That's why I played here first. All the lines I'm calculating, am I supposed to take? Is she supposed to take? And again, I know in the Philidor here, like, keeping the tension is very reasonable until you have, like, a concrete win. And I thought trading, she would just take with her queen. I thought that'd be better for white, to be honest. That's why I didn't. She plays bishop b3 here. I think it's the best move. It makes sense. She's locking this down, but now she's preventing her b pawn from pushing. And I thought I was making, like, a tiny bit of progress. I mean, really, at this point, I've noted on the 10th move, we both had used about 30 minutes. I thought that I was, like, equal here. Yeah. And we arrived in this position. It's worth noting she's technically attacking my e-pawn, with two things. And so I thought for a while here, I tried to make a forward plan. I thought of all these tricks, like takes or whatever, and none of them seemed to work. I calculated, again, pretty deeply about the position. Now the fact that her bishop is here, she's already defending this pawn. And then so when I jump like so with a knight, if you remember that calculation dance way back, I would already be hemmed in and I would lose another piece there. So I didn't like that. So when we arrived in this position, I thought the only thing I could really do is clarify the position and take. The reason why is I thought if I take and she takes with the knight, it opens the door again for all these knight takes on e4. But if she takes with the queen, I was thinking maybe the line that I calculated, and this is what I was calculating over the game, is pawn takes pawn, queen takes c5, attacking the queen with tempo. She would drop, and then I'd play c4. And the reason why I thought that was good is it would hem in her bishop. It would have no scope attack. She'd now have to drop it back. And I thought that position might be good for me. But then I thought maybe she just would reroute her knight, move to c3, and then get her bishop back to b1. I know this is very long term, but and then I'd have a stupid-ass pawn on c5. I had a very similar Philidor position, funny enough, against Nathan Jones, where I know I was defending this backwards d6 pawn the whole game. And I just wasn't sure if I wanted to commit to that line. But that is what I was calculating for the record. So anyway, I take, because I just didn't see another way to defend this pawn, keep the tension. I thought I needed to clarify it. I also thought knight takes was worse and would have opened, it looks like a pretty natural move, so it would have opened the door maybe for some misplays. Haley doesn't. I don't think it's a misplay. I mean, we'll see what the computer says. She plays queen to d4. And at this point, she's centralized. The state of the game is I think I got nothing from the opening, but I also think I escaped any kind of like these odd pins or sacrifices. I thought I was comfortable, sort of. I'm always looking at these kind of odd takes ideas because that's very common in the Philidor. Again, opening up on the dark square bishop. I am looking at these c5, c4 ideas, again, to kind of hammer away. And I'm also just looking at very simple, like, bishop d7, just trying to bear down on the a4 pawn. However, it's worth saying right now she's got 1, 2, 3, 4 defenders. So a whole shit ton of defenders on that pawn. Yeah, with forcing her bishop back, I also had this like odd rook lift idea. It was something I was considering. And I know that there are a lot of positions. Rerouting the knight, going to d7, and then slamming it on e5 is also an idea. So I was looking at all that, and then, we're pretty similar on time. I wasn't like thrilled with my position, but I also didn't think I was really any worse. And I just said, all right, let's go to fundamentals, Rob. Like, knight jumps like this. Do I win anything by it? No, she takes, I take. I don't really see, maybe I can then get it on e5. That looked very, how do I put this, equal to me. So I then said, what's my worst piece? Okay, it's my light square bishop. I'm stuck behind the b7 pawn. I have no scope here. What's her best piece? It's probably this bishop. It's defending the a4 pawn that I kind of want to target, and she's pinning the f pawn, which is a weakness. So I thought, all right, that's probably her best piece. How can I resolve that? And I thought, all right, if I do play bishop e6 here, if she ever trades, I take back. I have a strong center. She no longer has the light square, like the white squares to attack me on. And if she doesn't trade, and I'm able to trade, then I double her pawns. And I also saw kind of a funny idea of a knight jump to d7 to c5, obviously attacking the weak b3 pawn. She can never push because I have this pawn on a5 that's actually doing a nice job where I would just take, especially with this having an open door. And in those positions, kind of far flung, if I have my knight on d7 and I jump to c5, I actually am threatening the b3 jump for a fork. So I saw all that, and I thought that was all really good. So in my eye, I moved here thinking if she trades, I'm happy. Also, if I take with a pawn, I'm then threatening e5, and then I have a very, very strong pawn chain. I thought it'd be better. And this is one of the things. I only really looked at bishop here and her not taking and her taking. And this is what I mean, where she played, I think, a stronger move. So, like, I didn't see this move, honestly. I just didn't see it. I don't know what to say. And I thought it might have been blunder, but then it seemed to be really good. I play bishop e6. Again, my thinking is if she takes, I'm happy. If she doesn't take, I'm happy. But instead, she shocks the world. Well, it shocks me by playing knight to d5. And I really wasn't expecting this. And the reason why is I thought that maybe this loses material. And I start calculating. And again, like, this was deep calculation. I calculate if I go knight takes, I'm threatening this. I think she'd have to take with a pawn. And then I can play knight takes. I'm still threatening to take here. So then she'd have to play like bishop takes. And then I would take her bishop. And I saw that if she doesn't take with a knight, I had this in-between move by moving my bishop back to f6, attacking the queen. I thought in a lot of those lines as well, if she takes with the bishop, I might have an in-between move of like c5. Yes, I'd be giving up the rook, but I'd be attacking the queen with the idea maybe if she misplaces her queen, I have some knight jumps to attack it again. And if she moves away from the defense of the light square bishop, then I'd win another free piece. So basically, I was like spoiled for choice here, wondering what my best move was, calculating all of these knight takes moves. I'm positive knight takes has to be correct. I'm just not sure which knight, to be honest. I thought it's more correct to take with the f knight first. Because if I took with the b knight, why did I think it was less accurate? I don't know, to be honest. This was a spot where I was just confused. It was not what I was expecting. I didn't like that this light square bishop was bearing down on me, and I thought maybe, again, she would blunder. This all seemed, at worst, average for me. Right, like I was looking at this, and it seemed at worst average. So I do knight on f takes on d5. She plays e takes. And this is where I do a deep, deep thought, because in my mind, I have two different options. I can take with the knight. She cannot take this bishop because I would take back with the knight, so she would probably take with the bishop. I would take her bishop. If she doesn't immediately go knight takes, I have this in-between move to drop it to, again, play on the diagonal. And if she does, I take back. And I did see that she would have bishop takes b7, thereby mitigating the pawn. But I thought, and I didn't, by the way, this is where going deep calculation, if I played rook b8, I would immediately be attacking her b pawn, and I thought I would be winning a pawn in that line. The answer is I wouldn't be. I didn't see all the way that her queen is defending the b2 pawn, but I did calculate that. Yeah, so like that was one of my calculations. Knight takes d5. The other line I was calculating was just simply moving the bishop, thinking to myself, now hear me out, when she thrusts her pawn to d5, it's blocking in her bishop. So this becomes a bad piece. I'm still attacking this pawn. I thought I have two moves here. I thought I could move to f5, or I thought I could move to d7. Now, if I move to d7 here, I thought that there'd be some lines. I mean, here it would go trade, trade. She might be developing a rook with like tempo. I don't know where I'd move this. If I go here, she probably just doubles up my pawns. Probably not great for me. Let's say I move back. Yeah, I thought that she would basically be able to play something like c3 or even c4, and she would break free like that. So I didn't love this. I thought that, yes, maybe I'm bearing down on the a pawn, but she's getting kind of fast play, and if she reroutes her bishop to c2, maybe she'd be able to form a battery with her queen, and I'd be worse. So I didn't like that. So I thought that maybe this was technically a bad piece, but yeah. So I calculated that far, and I also calculated if I went bishop f5. The thinking here is I'm taking away c2. The problem is I'm not attacking the a pawn anymore. A line, for example, would be takes, takes, and then I thought that she would develop the rook. And here I just really wasn't sure where to go. Maybe queen d7. And I saw this position, and I don't know. I wasn't really so happy with this. I thought, again, she could still play c4. And I thought that she was getting a real attack here. Maybe I'm wrong. Again, I'm really taking away the jumps for where my knight can even go. So I'm not sure. I mean, again, maybe this is coming with force. Maybe it's not. But I saw all this, and I just decided I didn't like it. So I then finally took with my knight, thinking that maybe in that deep line, she doesn't take right away. I'd have this in-between move to bounce back the dark square bishop. 1 second. All right, little yapper. Come on. Come on. Come on, yapper. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Come on. Come on. Come on. Oh, buddy. Oh. You're my little guy. Oh. He got so excited. Oh, it's okay, little guy. All right. All right, maybe he's a little bit calmer now. He's on my lap. Damn, my tea is cold now as well. I barely had any. All right, anyway, so I figured this was a forcing line. Oops, and there he goes. Yeah, I'm also gaining like a small time advantage throughout all this. It's not irrelevant, by the way. I'm making little faster moves, but again, not by much. Just a small time advantage. All right, I play knight takes on d5. Haley plays bishop takes on d5. Obviously, I can't take here because then she takes with the queen and her piece is defended. So I have to play bishop takes on g5. I felt like this was all forced. She plays knight takes on g5. Yeah, when this occurs, in this spot, move 14, I have a few options. No, I don't. I have only one option. I take. And that's still what I calculated. I thought, obviously, if she doesn't take this pawn, if she just takes, I'm up a pawn with a strong pawns. So I thought this was forced. She kind of had to go for it. And I play rook a b8. I did calculate this far way back on move 12. So kind of all these moves, I figured they were all forcing. And she goes back to bishop f3. And this is where we arrived, where she's going to be down to 30 minutes soon, and I still have like 50 minutes, I would say. I definitely have a bigger time edge at this point, because I calculated all this through at this point. I made all these pretty quickly. So anyway, and we arrive at this position, and unfortunately, her queen is defending the pawn. I thought that I'd be able to just take right away or maybe double up, but that's not the case. I also wanted to be able to use this diagonal, and when her bishop is on f3, I couldn't. So I was kind of disappointed. I now had to think of another plan. I have this strong move, rook b4, and honestly, I should have played this immediately. I was greedy, I played h5 first. I should have just played, by the way, rook b4. I think queen c3 would be forced. Again, she wants to stay on this diagonal to support this pawn. If I can never take the b2 pawn, I'm just much better. Oh, God damn it, idiots. What are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? Ugh, they are knocking my laundry basket around. All right. So yeah, I thought that is my video camera on? No, it's not. Okay. I'm doing this in boxers. I don't want to be streaming it out like that. I think before I had my face cam on last time I streamed on Twitch. Anyway, maybe this was better. I don't know. She'd be attacking my pawn. What am I supposed to do here? c5 immediately, and now I have the weakness on d6. I don't know. I mean, the truth is, when we arrive at this like quasi endgame, I guess it's a middle game still because queens are on the board. Maybe she's better here because I have 3 pawn islands. She only has 2. I thought because my pawns were mostly on dark squares, it's light square bishop against light square bishop, that I'd have a thin advantage. Plus, I have the open half file. But honestly, when we arrived here, when I wasn't actually up the pawn, I kind of made peace with the fact that it was just a totally equal position, or at least I thought. I really didn't think I was playing for anything. I played h5 because I wanted to play h4. I basically wanted to just hammer on down. Thinking that h4 was forced, and I thought I would be able to play rook b4 to hit the pawn. Again, if I can maintain on the g file, I would be able to play the pin. Unfortunately, and that's what I went with. That's what I calculated. Again, I kind of missed her resource, which is really, really nice. I play h5, she plays h4, so I saw this, and I played queen to g6, which I thought was good, because I basically want to play rook b4 to hit the pawn, and I thought by backsliding here, I'm now hitting the c pawn, so she'd have to defend it. So I thought that I'm just in good shape, and I calculated if she played bishop e4, I actually would play f5, and it's kind of crazy aggressive, but I'm still threatening potentially the skewer, or at least swinging in. If the h-pawn falls, I'd be better, possibly winning. So I calculated all that, and that's what I thought. Unfortunately, she plays queen c3, and I realize, oh boy, she's attacking both pawns. I wanted to play rook b4 to kind of move on in, but I worried if I played rook b4 and she just cold-blooded took my c-pawn, then yes, I would take the h-pawn, but then she would also take the d-pawn. And I thought if both of these centralized pawns fell, that I would be worse again. I wouldn't really have an attack even with a rook on h4. So I kind of got upset. I did see if I defended my pawn with c5 that she can't really take a5. I kind of wanted her to, because first off, my pawn on c5 would actually be blocking her from like attacking the h-pawn. But also there, she would actually be relinquishing control of the b2 square. So just to show you, because I do play c5 here. She plays rook f to d1. But if she took this pawn, like what I calculated, I thought I was getting all the play in the world. I would have gone rook takes on b2. And I'm not really sure what she has here. Queen's a little bit off sides. And I'm gunning down. The idea is if I can wiggle on in here, I have real play, just owning the second rank. I worried if this pawn would be fast, sort of the outside pawn. But for some reason, I wasn't that worried about it. I think I was looking at like bishop c4 ideas, again, to bounce her rook out so that I'd actually be able to like either mate her or just take on f2. So I think I was calculating all that. But she doesn't take the pawn, which I think was correct not to take it, and she instead plays rook f to d1. I have to make another plan here, and I realize, oh boy, she's attacking this pawn. She's not really attacking this pawn because I think I can take on b2. Is there any way for me to make forward progress? She stopped my pawn push, and I saw that the only 2 ways to defend this pawn, well, 3 ways. I could play rook b6, but I eliminated that because I thought she would just take on a5 with tempo, attacking the rook. I would then take this pawn, but then she would crash through, take my d-pawn, and again, she'd be just up a clear pawn there. I didn't think that was good. I just saw I never really had these like bishop checks. She does if her bishop's here to check. To like open up on d-pawn, so not even indirectly defending this pawn. I saw I could play rook f to d8, but I just thought that was so passive. I thought I needed to be on the e-pawn. I needed to somehow break into the second rank, so I just thought that was really weak. So the only move I really saw that defended this pawn would be to move the bishop. I considered, for the record, I I just opted for the bishop trade because I thought that this was headed for a draw. I considered this move here. Once again, I spying the a4 pawn, so that if she does move this rook, I can actually play for something. I can play for an advantage. But I went for, and I also did see potentially bishop f5 with the idea of zeroing in on the c pawn. So like those were all the moves I was considering it. And honestly, maybe they would have been a little better. At this point, let's see. Haley hit the 30-minute mark right after move 19, by the way. So, like, down to just 30 minutes. And I had like 50. So I don't know. I think at this position, I just made peace that I just wasn't any better. And that we should just trade these pieces so that, consolidate the board. Again, I felt that if she trades and I trade, maybe I don't have g3 ideas. I'm still looking at going rook b4 and then rook f to b8, forming a battery. That was a big thing I wanted. Again, I'm just looking for any way to, like, basically give myself an advantage, And I played... I also thought if she doesn't trade for whatever reason, her queen is tied down because I have this pin. And, I'm still attacking many things. Like, I could maybe even potentially distract her queen so that I could win the bishop and threaten mate. So there's things like that I was looking at, like little tactics, little tricks. I mean, I don't think she was going to fall for them. But I thought, like, threatening them was still pretty good. It doesn't matter. She just, like, shrugs. She trades. I think it's probably a good trade. I have to take with the pawn because I'm trying to keep my queen defending my d-pawn. And honestly, maybe I should have, kept the light square bishops on for everything I had said. These are dark square pawns, so she doesn't have a way of attacking them. She has more light square pawns than me. But again, all of it is, like, really... How do I put this? It's really thin. She also has this potential long diagonal, which I hated. So that's why I was okay basically trading bishops. Thinking that this freed up my pawn, that maybe I could push f5, f4. I don't know. Again, none of this is, like, concrete. It all felt in-game like I wasn't really... I don't know, like, I just didn't see anything better, obviously. If I see something better, I would just do that. Doesn't matter. We go bishop takes and then h takes. In this position, Haley plays rook d5. I missed her idea here, for the record. It's a massive threat. I assume she went rook d5 so that I wouldn't be able to, like, push these pawns, get them rolling, and that she could just double up and just try to win a pawn by force. And I thought that was pretty powerful, right? So I said, I need to answer the threat. I could take the e file, again, if I can maybe even land it on e2, or potentially I could move rook e6 and, like, boom, I have everything defended. I missed, and, like, this was the second move that was unexpected that I did miss, for the most part. The real threat here, and that's rook to g5. The reason this is so powerful, it's protected by the pawn, and she's threatening checkmate, meaning that my queen has to be tied down to this dumbass g-pawn. I missed that, for the record. I was too tied into her just basically throttling me down on the d file, and I needed to find a way to either get counterplay, which would be jumping to e2, or defense, which would be on e6. I thought that if I landed on e2, I would then be able to take the c-pawn, again, kind of checking her queen, dislodging it. If I could ever slam rook to b2, I then thought I'd be winning. Where I'd have, what's it called? The pigs in a blanket? I hate that expression, but where I thought I'd be better. However, I missed the main threat, so I do play rook f to e8. Again, I thought this was a simple move. I have a big time advantage, but she then plays rook g5. And at this position, I went from the whole game, I wasn't, like, worried. Well, aside from where she had the sacrifice, where I did worry if that was good. Again, she sacrificed it's good for black, but I didn't know that. This was the only time in the game where when she plays this, I think to myself, oh no. Oh no. I obviously only have two moves here. I can either play queen to h6 or queen to h7. The reason why is she's threatening checkmate. Okay, I can't move this this queen. I also don't have f6 at a certain point. I mean, she would just take my queen, obviously. But also this pawn's pinned. She's also attacking the g-pawn, maybe. I thought that, although, for the record, I moved to h7 because I thought I needed to spy the c-pawn, basically wiggle on in and attack it. But I also saw that if I play here, I might have a back rank problem. I have no retreat square. A big reason why I played h5 earlier is, first off, it was an attacking move, but I thought it was also luft for my king, whereas a retreat square. I thought that if I played to h6, I'm not attacking this pawn, by the way, because obviously if I ever move my queen, I get mated. But I thought if I moved off of this spot, I'm no longer attacking this pawn. Yes, I'd have a little bit more breathing room, but I'm not really threatening h6. Maybe I am threatening h6 here. I don't know. I also had a funny calculation of in the right spot playing f5. But in order to play f5, I need my queen on h7. And the idea is actually I'd be trapping her rook. So I did see a line where I played f5, and if I landed like rook e5, not just defending it with both pieces, but also breaking the queen attack onto the g7, then finally I'd be able to take the pawn, and then I'd win her rook. So I did see some funny lines there of trapping her rook. The truth is, when I played queen h6, queen h7, I thought she could just take the pawn, maybe. I thought she would take the pawn. I would play rook e2. Again, attacking the c-pawn. Not yet. I would attack it with a rook, actually, to dislodge her queen. But also so that I could maybe generate some counterplay myself, threatening some stuff on f2. I saw if I am ever able to take h4, I actually would be able to possibly win on f2. But I'd have to dislodge the rook first. So I was looking at all those moves. I also thought that maybe I'd have rook b4 still. It's a move I've wanted to play like all game, just to bear down on the fourth rank. Nonetheless, when I play queen h7, only move, one of the only moves, Haley plays rook d1. I thought this was inaccurate, for the record. And the reason why is she lets me play rook e2. She plays this, and I just figured this pawn didn't matter. If she swings in, I'm going to have the sufficient counterplay. And I actually thought she needed to stop this move. I thought she needed to stop this move, rook e2. Because I'm curious what the computer will say. But I just thought at this position we were just drawing. That, again, she doesn't really have the threat. If I'm ever able to win this pawn, not yet, because if she swings down, she actually would be threatening the back rank. That's the problem. But again, sweeping on through with this rook, I would just have sufficient counterplay to either check her or possibly more, you know? So, all right. So I play rook e2. Haley takes on d6, and I think that was a mistake. Yes, she's threatening the back rank, but she lets me play rook takes on c2, and I thought finally I was kicking her queen. I thought. Obviously, she can't take the c-pawn, because then I win it with my rook. She can't play to d4, because then I win it. She can't play to b4, I win it. I guess she could take on a5, but I just thought that, maybe I'm swooping on in. Maybe that's a good move here. Now that I look at it. I don't know, because she's still threatening back rank stuff there. No, because then I have the same checkmate that I end up winning with. All right, well, whatever. In any event, when I take queen c2, I have a pretty nasty threat, as you guys can tell. And, yeah, because she's a tempo too slow, she takes there. And she shocks me again with queen f6, and at this moment, she plays this, and she plays this on the board, and at first, I'm like, oh my god, did I just lose? And then I see, after not that much time, that I just have checkmate. And I actually apologized over the board. I said, Haley, I'm sorry. And she said, what? And I said, I'm sorry. And she said, what are you talking about? Something like that. And the reason why is because this is just total luck. I have check, only move, and then boom, checkmate. And I played it, and that was it. That was the game. So I'm thrilled. I won, obviously. I really wonder if I was losing prior to this, because it felt like I had sufficient counterplay and that I was drawing, that she kind of pushed hard. But it did feel very, very lucky to me, just to kind of backdoor into this checkmate. I think, obviously, allowing this is not ideal. This pawn's kind of irrelevant. She kind of needs her back rank safer. I don't know what she's supposed to do here. Maybe queen e1? No, I still take this pawn, and then these rooks are hanging. I don't know. I don't know what she's supposed to do here. All I know is I'm very happy with getting the win. I'm going to turn the analysis engine back on. How long have I been running this? 49 minutes? Okay, definitely quicker. We analyzed a bit. I thought that she was kind of outplaying me a little bit in the endgame. Like, I thought I was making logical moves, but she got her rook in, and I missed that main idea. And in her words, she just kind of blundered checkmate. And I saw it pretty quickly, so I'm glad I didn't miss that. That's for sure. So all right, let's check out everything. I'm gonna fast forward to the big decision here. Hey, look at that. H6 was as good as E7. I play E7, but H6 would have been totally fine. That was the other move I was really thinking about. Just stopping any of these shenanigans. Whoops. Any of these shenanigans. So it looks like it's even slightly better. Okay, well, I'm glad my instincts were right that I really looked at H6 and wanted to play it. So I play Bishop E7. Again, castle, she maintains a small advantage. For the record, again, and this is something I looked at on my phone with Haley, is apparently this is just good for black. I was scared out of my mind to go into this line because all this felt very, very forced to me. All right, he's meowing his head off again. 1 second. Come on! Come on! Come on! Yeah, come on! Up, up, up! Come on! Come on! Come on! Come on! Inside the room. Come on! Come on! Yeah. There you go. Go to mommy. Oh my god. Where did you come from? Come on. All right. Kittens really do have a lot of energy. Yeah, G8 only move. I did look at G6 as I was telling you guys. Not that. I would have lost on the spot. What the hell? G8. There we go. Yeah, I don't know. I was very, very, very terrified of this. Saw this. You have to move Queen E8. Giving her the fork she would take. And as I was saying, I only saw this on the computer very quickly, that the best move is Queen G6. And it makes sense. You're threatening this, so she doesn't have time to take the right away. I don't know if I would have found it. Again, if I played like Queen D8, it's just losing. So I'd have to play very aggressively here. Maybe I'd find it, honestly. It's a hard move, and black is only slightly better. I think I would have found this, to be honest, but again, she doesn't have time necessarily to... Oh, actually, it is the best move. Really? No way. Because then I gladly would take on G2. And then they want what? E takes on D4. It's hard to open up the position when your king is unsafe like this. Like, I don't think I would necessarily take, to be honest. I would try to basically break... No, I mean, she might be escaping with her knight. I'd have to find this move specifically, and I don't think I would have found this move. H6 is the logical move to basically get the king there. I think I would have found H6 here, which is, like, equal. Anyway, I just didn't want to go down this path. It looks like I'd have to find... Just to show you, and at the club, I didn't... go this far as well. It looks like you have to play E takes D4. This is to maintain an advantage. Allowing her to develop her queen, kind of move it on in. And the idea here is... Oh, that's a hard move to find as well. You play knight E5 because you're threatening this fork. Yeah, I mean, I would have found that, I guess. And it looks like the only move that stops it for the time being is F3. So now if I take, she can take. And that's not even the best move. Just simply taking the pawn or going knight h5 to bear down. Does this not work? Because this is what I would play if we were in this position. Rook takes and then queen takes. And what's the material count? Material count is even here. She's got she's finally escaping with her queen. Or excuse me, her knight. Oh my god. The fuck? I'd have to see that this is then going to be forced checkmate. Okay. I'm going to be honest. That's why we don't go down these crazy lines. Because according to the computer, it's better for black, but it's so hard to find those. I'm really glad she didn't do the bishop sacrifice variation. At least I know in the future, like maybe I should just avoid this. Because I think I would have found some of those moves, but not all of them. And again, when she finally castled, which again is technically the better move here, I was relieved out of my mind. Relieved out of my mind. All right, I castle in response. Let's see, is anyone chatting with me? I got one viewer apparently. Hello, one viewer. Best stream. Oh no, the viewer is a spam bot. Well, that's why I don't stream. But you know, Justin, I'm trying this out just for you. All right. She plays bishop g5. I mean, this is equal at this point. It just was not the best move. Yeah, they want her to play a4 herself, and this is where I do the deep thought. I think rook e1 was the better move for her, right? Yeah, oh, look at that, guys. Rook e1 is the better move. It's the one I kind of it's as far out as my own training went. Rook e1. Again, rook e1, and then I would have gone c6, and I think that's where I've kind of practiced up through that point. But she didn't do that. She pinned my knight. I thought this was kind of funky because I might have some ideas on e4, but it didn't matter. Computer wants me to play h6. They do want me to bump it, just bump and run. Now I regret not doing that because I did consider it, but instead, yeah, I did. Okay, look at all the lines. I considered c6, which is just as good. And in my practice, I should have just done that because it's what I wanted to play initially. h6 would have been fine, bouncing it back. Knight b6 is not one of the top 5 moves. What about my move that I played, a5? Oh, and a5 is up there. a5 is like just as good. Okay, cool. So this was a real decision point for me. I did like a deep thought at this point. It looks like they're all reasonable moves, and I chose fine. So I'm okay with that. That's it's a good enough move. Her best move is a4. I kind of assumed as much. All of these other moves are reasonable. That's fine. I did this so I could play knight b6, but the computer does not like this plan. They really think I should kick the bish or just take first. I thought I would take trade, excuse me, go knight b6 and then trade, obviously, because that's what I did in the game. I guess they just said this improves her position, maybe. So this is I guess still not even that bad. She should take, d takes. You know, I did look at this briefly. I thought takes was good for me, for the record. Just so you guys see what I'm talking about. I'm attacking her bishop. I saw that she could take here. But then, okay, good. The computer thinks taking on c4 is the best play. Like, this is what I saw. I saw takes. And then I thought that she would take e takes. And then I would take with my bishop. I thought this was all force. And she would take back the bishop. I would obviously take with my queen. And I saw this position. I thought this was fine for black. Now, apparently it's good for white. It's plus 0.7 almost. But I thought that I was relieving the pressure of the light square bishop. And she had that seem pretty strong. I have a pretty active knight where I can centralize it on e5. And I'd have ideas of b6 with putting my bishop on b7. Honestly, computer says that white's better here, but I like black. I guess because she very specifically has moves with tempo. The only follow-up, really, where she's better is knight d5, attacking my queen. I'd have to drop back to defend my pawn. I would have seen that, of course. And then it lets her just develop, like, you know, queen d3. Both centralizing her queen, but also attacking my knight. I'd probably go to e5. Yep, attacking her queen again. And then this is where they want to just go trade. And apparently, according to the computer, this position is slightly good for white. I can't tell you why. 0.8 is like pretty significant, to be honest. Almost a pawn, but I actually think this is fine for black. So I would not be. I don't know why this is not. I don't know. I don't understand. But whatever. Like, I don't understand why queen a3 is the only move that maintains an advantage, right? Like, Haley wouldn't find that move. I wouldn't find that move. I think a lot of people wouldn't find that move. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. But maybe I'm wrong. Something like queen e3 makes a lot more sense. I think I'd find that one. Or centralizing the rooks, which makes it a zeros game. Okay, whatever. None of that happened. In this spot, I play bishop, knight to b6. Haley responds by dropping her. Oh, you know what? Wow, that's crazy. Bishop a2 is actually better than bishop b3. I thought bishop a2 was a. Wait, what? What are we doing here? What are we doing here, folks? They're saying that bishop a2 is actually, which is what I thought that she might do. I thought was not a good move. Why is this not great for me? They like just queen here. What I was going to do is I was going to centralize my bishop. This is what I saw. Why is this not good for me? Oh, I guess she's attacking the pawn. I'd have to trade first. Excuse me. Right. So I would trade. She takes. And now I play bishop d7. Yeah. So what's wrong with this position? I'm attacking the pawn. I think that like everything is copacetic for me. Am I not attacking the pawn? I guess I'm not, because she might be able to then sacrifice it. No, the computer does say that taking the pawn is best. I would have played this for the record. Like this is what I kind of saw and what I thought was good. She obviously has to desperado, I guess. Knight e6. Not a move that I'm going to be honest, Haley would play, I think. But it's really clever. You sacrifice so then you can take back the pawn and then you basically stuff the king over. And it's slightly better for white. Really fascinating sacrifice idea. And obviously you win back the bishop in that line. Really, really cool, actually. But I would have... humans would have seen this. Like, Haley would have seen this move for sure. Takes and then take here. And what's the material count here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pawns for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pawns for Haley. We both have a bishop and a knight, 2 rooks. Okay, and the computer just says it's basically completely equal. I would have seen this, and this would have been interesting as well. No light square bishop, so I wouldn't be worried about this diagonal. Yeah, that would have been interesting. All right. So that's if that happened. Nonetheless, she plays bishop b3, which apparently is a little bit more inaccurate. I then take, which seemed nearly forced. I'm actually curious what the other option was. Bishop b to d7, just moving it back. Yeah, that's interesting. Basically just moving back to where I was is the second best move. Bishop b to d7 or bishop f to d7. I did consider that move as well, kind of supporting the pawn with my other knight, opening up on the dark square bishop. I thought that might be interesting because I wanted to play like f5 at a certain point once I dislodged the light square bishop, and it never came up. But that was an idea I wanted to do, is rip open with like an f5 idea. All right. Well, nonetheless, I traded, which is the best move, which is nice. Queen takes is less accurate. Well, they're basically equal. I thought knight takes was not as good. But apparently, according to the computer, this is slightly better. I'm just kind of curious. A computer likes c5 in this position with the idea c5 to then play c4, which is the idea that I saw, stuffing her bishop in the box. The other idea, I'm just kind of curious, does this hard lose? The knight takes on e4 idea. Should we trade? Oh, they think I should just take here. No, I didn't like that, because I thought that then my my knight would be pinned. I thought, okay, if I go down this path, queen takes. Well, right now my queen is pinned. All right, well, this would have been wild as well. That didn't happen. All right, she nonetheless takes back with the queen, which is slightly less accurate for reasons that are tricky and tactical and difficult. Computer still likes this h6 idea. Yeah, still likes this h6 idea. I'm considering, again, like a c5, c4 idea. Just kind of curious here. No, she would just draw back to d3. Yeah, it's just a weakening move. This would be a hanging pawn. I'm glad I didn't go into that. I really was thinking positionally. I didn't want to bankrupt myself. They really like this h6 just bounce, just absolve the tension over this piece. Fair enough. I play bishop e6 though, which seems like a fine move. I mean, if you look at my options here, it's the 5th best move, I guess. Knight g4, just kind of opening up here is another move. I guess rerouting it down to e5, which is a common idea. I mean, again, I felt like we were pretty much at parity, pretty equal in this position. So, like, no complaints here. No regrets, you know, like that kind of thing. All right, whatever. And it's funny, she plays knight to d5, which is not a move I expected. I thought she'd either go, you know, bishop takes, which I was happy for. Again, computer says this is the best move. I wonder why, and the reason why is I thought if I took, obviously I have this like potential threat, like long term, but I thought I was denying her queen the access points to actually attack it is the thing. Because obviously this knight is huge, taking away c4, and the pawn currently is taking away d5. So I really wasn't so sure. They think that she can just play, oh, e5 immediately here. Okay, and that's a big threat, I guess. Well, somewhat of a threat. Knight f to d5. Basically just slam it in here. we make some trades, and we go from there. Okay, well, whatever. It would have been a pretty equal game. Yeah, interesting. They do like my move. And if she does something random, like... Oh my god. Don't do that to me, computer. If she did something random... like a random move like rook f to e1, which isn't that random, but here I was going to just trade bishop. Yeah, bishop trade is correct. And I thought that I was already like maybe slightly better. Computer to computer, I'm not. But I thought in this position, again, if we got here, which is why I wanted to trade, that I'd be good. The computer wants me to just like, yeah, I wanted to reroute either of these pieces, either the f knight or the b knight, so I can land it on c5. And basically, we make some trades, and it's a very equal game. All right, well, I saw all that. I'm glad that the community does agree with my idea. And I just didn't see knight takes on d5. I thought for a while, I thought this was really complicated. I really wasn't sure what the right one to take one was with. If it's with, apparently, taking with the knight, or taking with the f. No, what did I take with? I took with the f. Did I take with the f? Yeah, I took with the f knight. Cool. So I played the most accurate take back, but they're all pretty equal, and this is pretty complicated here. Computer does say we've reached this position and it's already total parity, so I feel pretty good about my thought process and what ended up happening. E takes is forced. She does it. Computer likes my idea. I just grinned and bared it. This was a real decision point. F5 is the second best move. They're very, very close, and D7 is not really much worse. And I really was conflicted. This was move 12. This was like the other major moment where I really thought, and the computer thinks all three of those moves are reasonable. But I did play the most accurate one. Knight takes d5. Pretty happy about that. Cool. Because I thought this was a tricky one to play. Wow, they give me a brilliant for that. Well, thank you very much, computer. You know, brilliant here. All right. Well, I'm going to tap myself on the back for that brilliancy. It felt correct, you know. Bishop takes on d5 is forced. She plays it. And then they're like taking on g5, which is what happens as well. So, I mean, maybe I played well. Like, I thought Haley was playing much better in the endgame than me, but it looks like this middle game I diffused pretty well, not gonna lie. Bishop takes on e6 first, is not what happened. She plays knight takes on g5 first. And you know, for all the reasons I mentioned, I have pull in this, you know, middle to end game, mid to late game, I guess. Maybe for all the reasons I mentioned, but I certainly didn't play it right. So we'll see. For her to basically stay competitive, she needs to take on b7, which is in fact what happens, and then I play rook to b8. So I saw all this. Cool. So we land on this position. You know, 15 moves in, I have a big time advantage, and actually the computer does have me slightly better in this like mid to late game. Maybe for all the reasons I mentioned. I thought as much. You know, she has pawns on light squares, and I have the open half file. Again, it's not much, but this felt better to me. She does play the best move, bishop f3. Well done, Haley. That's the only move that like saves the game. Maybe we both played really well, also, for the record. Fuck me. Rook b4, it's the move I wanted to play, is the best move. It's what I needed to play for the advantage. Oh, man. You know, it's funny, I was considering queen e5, centralizing, just trying to trade, because if she trades, this is forever a weakness, and if she pushes on b3, I thought if I landed bishop to f5, zeroing down on the c-pawn, I would have constant threat. So I did see that. Maybe I should have tried to force the queens off a little bit better. Instead, how much does the computer hate my move with h5? They don't hate it. It's okay, but I missed an opportunity here. Like, a lot of other moves are just better. If you look at like the computer, it's not on the top 5 move list. Trading queens, they like, because her position is a little bit softer, and I might be able to take advantage of these pawns. But rook b4 is obviously the move I needed to play and wanted to play. Yeah, I saw queen c3. That's what I thought her defense would be. And then they like, oh, this move. Nope, not. c5 is not bad, actually. It's an excellent move. Okay, I saw this. But they also like rook c4, which is a very, very clever move. And then she's forced to d3. Then what's my follow-up here? And now, like an h5 idea. Oh, because I'm defending my pawns. My rook is active, and I'm on the spot where I want it, because now I'm taking away h4. Ah, chess can be a beautiful game. Do you see, guys, the move ordering? I wanted to play h5, thinking that's the attacking idea, but I needed to prepare it first by bouncing her queen out, taking advantage of the fact that my rook is more active, and that's why black is slightly better in this endgame. Very, very, very clever stuff. Yeah. For the record, I didn't see the follow-up there, but that makes a lot of sense. But my move that I inputted, c5, is still pretty good. I thought that maybe the d-pawn would be a weakness, but... like, what's her best move? F to d1. Just immediately ganging up on that pawn. And, wow, the passive move is best. Just rook d8. Potentially queen e5 as well. Just forcing queens off here. And just playing this position where the b-pawn's a weakness, and maybe I can move in, get some luft. I can see how black has a slight pull there. I actually should have gone into a line like this, because A, it's my kind of position, and B, is a little less forcing, and C, it's very conceptually sound, where I understand her weaknesses. Basically, the pawn chain on c2 is weak, and I have a light square bishop to attack it. So I understand why black is a little bit better, and I also see a plan there. All right. Nonetheless, I'm a little too reckless and play the early h4. She responds to h5. She responds to h4, which is the best answer, and now the game is just equal. And like that's what I meant. I thought when this happened, queen g6 is fine. Queen f5 is slightly more accurate. I'm not sure why. I don't know. Like this felt better to me, but they're basically the same. But this is slightly less good. All right. Well, whatever. I play queen to g6. Again, my thinking, I'm still zeroing down on the g file. I'm attacking the c2 pawn. Yeah, queen c3 is the best move. Of course, I thought this was forced. And they still like queen f5. I don't know why. I don't get it. Why is that good? No one knows. b4, rook b4 is still the right play. Giving up, I just didn't want to give up both these pawns. I thought that was really scary. c5 is also basically just as good. But when I have this weakness, white is slightly better. And yeah, all right. Rook a d1 was slightly more accurate. This rook basically get away from the defense of this square. Does she do that? She plays rook f d1. Is that true? Move 19. Yeah, she played rook f d1. Oh, they're equal. Never mind. What am I talking about? What am I smoking? So she's playing the best moves here. She's like wiggling free. And this one makes sense. I have to play rook f to d8. And that's a move over here I was considering. Yeah, it just looks so passive, but it is the best move. It's the only one that maintains parity. Just grip the pawns. I didn't want to play it. I just didn't want to play it. G4, bishop G4 is not a losing move by any stretch of the imagination, but the person who is better here is white. Haley is better in this endgame. This was not a super accurate move. I needed to just bring my rook. I thought I needed to be more active, and here my queen is defending, and this frees up my rook, but, you know, whatever. I figured she would trade. Not trading would be worse. She does trade. I have to take with the h pawn. Oh, they actually like queen takes and just give up this pawn. Again, I don't really see why. Instead, I try to grip and hold everything, which maybe was a mistake. And I mean, Haley's played all the best moves here. Remember what I said about how Haley's like inconsistent, but potentially has like potential for greatness? She's ripped off like the 7 best engine moves here or so, and I've played decently in this endgame. Like a lot of my moves are pretty good, but she's gone from a slightly worse position of like, you know, negative 0.3, like nothing, to now she's really playing for the win. You know, plus 0.8 is playing for the win. It's not a huge advantage. You know, anything can happen, and anything did happen. But you know, credit to Haley. Look at that. Rook d5 is best, and I just didn't see this main threat here. I needed to stop that with queen e4 stops that? How? Okay, if I play queen e4 here, which is the best move according to the computer, she can just take my pawn, number one, and which seems pretty clear. And then they want me to play queen b4, forcing queens off, and also trying to win this pawn. So if she takes, I would take the rook, and this is pretty equal. I think I would draw this pretty comfortably. If she, instead of taking the pawn, plays rook g5 here, now all of a sudden this is fine for me if I can, because I can play f6 here. Oh, and here this doesn't work because my rook is supporting this, because even though I'm pinned, she can't take the pawn. So she would just have to play something like rook h5. And actually she's in a bit of trouble here. Interesting. So that's why queen e4 works. Endgame stuff is hard. Anyway, I missed the main idea. I play rook f to e8, which is still fine. Like, look at this. Like, my move's not losing. It's just inaccurate. F5 is an idea as well. I did consider this, for the record, but I go for the more active play. I think I need to take the file, and she hits me with the rook g5. I just didn't see this. Like, that's what I'm telling you. I saw, again, moves like rook ad1, which seem very, very even to me. It's zeros. H5 ideas. I did see those ideas, which are all very mediocre, but I missed the main threat, and now I've got big problems. I do play the best move with queen h6. No, I don't. I play the weaker move, but I thought it's the one that maintains some pressure, some counterplay. This gives me some back rank issues. I did know this. I just didn't deliberate, at the time. And she plays yet another best computer move. She's played a lot of computer best moves here. They're not super hard to find, but they're very, very good. That was a really nice idea. And she just has a very clear advantage. I slam rook e2. It seemed like the best counterplay line. Just getting myself in there. Computer does like taking on g4, just taking the pawn here, and then I would take on c2. So let's just, if we were to do that line, which is what I kind of thought would happen, I would then take on c2, and then they like moving to f6. Now to f6. Interesting idea. Interesting idea. She also maybe sacrifice, which this is the line that Charles, new guy, suggested in the club when he was eating his sandwich, and I did see something like this, and this would be zeros according to the computer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. But I'm gonna win the b pawn. So we're just gonna dead draw here. Dead draw here. Yeah. So this I would have been happy to go into because this is just zeros. This is fine. I can't lose from that position. Instead, she takes on here on d6. Inaccuracy, taking this pawn was more accurate. She allows me to take on c2. I'm very, very active here. And the only move is to now sacrifice now, is to go trade, takes, and same deal. I'm basically threatening this pawn. That line works. Moving to e3 works. And g3 here maybe works of maintaining an advantage. Instead, unfortunately, she plays rook c1 and I spot the mate, and that's the blunder. All right, so she was thinly better in the endgame. She was outplaying me in the endgame a bit, but she made an important blunder, and I did find it. I found the mate! Good for me. And checkmated her. All right, that's going to be the full recap. I streamed it to Twitch as well. We'll kind of truncate it for YouTube. An hour 17, not bad. Maybe next time I'll get some people to watch. I think I have my stream manager open now in my phone, and it looks like I got a solid 1 viewer. I don't think I'm my own viewer. I think it's a spam bot in there. But all right, let's do this. Let's save this. Let's add it to my game collection. Boylston, Swiss, December. Boom. Let's do the review. Oh, so by the way, that's the E4 training. Paid off. This is my Google Drive. Nothing to hide there. This is the list. Let's just see if the standings are up. I think I will be winning this section now. Yeah, 3.5 points. Looks like Nathan and Nicholas got buys. Yeah. I think no matter what, I win the section. I'm going to try to win out, of course. Pairings for round 5. Now I get the white piece against Nathan Jones. So yeah, basically, if I win the section. If I draw, I win the section. If I lose, even if Glenn also wins, at worst, I'll split for first. So this is a great position to be. I really handled my business. Entering the January Chess Congress, on fire. This is my 49th game, by the way, classical game. So next week, with my 50th, my last game of the calendar year, I'll do a deep dive into my spreadsheet. But let's do the game review. All right, so the computer gave me a brilliant for one of these moves. Oh, baby, baby, baby. I've gotten much better at chess, guys. A 94% accuracy. What can I say? My preparation paid off, and it looks like I played pretty well. I just waited on that blunder. Oh, look at that mid-game accuracy, 91. Oh, I'm so happy with myself. I've actually gotten better. They gave me a brilliant. I don't think I deserve the brilliant, to be honest. I'll gladly take it, but I'm just gonna strut around a little bit and enjoy this. I do think Haley was outplaying me in the end game a bit. I still thought I had enough counterplay to like draw and stuff. I wasn't terribly worried. I did miss that one idea of rook to g5, where when she did play that, I was a little bit worried, and it looks like it would have been more accurate from a computer perspective to play queen to h6. I like my queen h7 just because I needed that threat still. All right, let's very quickly go over the moves. All right, so this was all book stuff. Again, I've studied this. I literally showed my notes where this is a position. They didn't like my idea of the knight b6. I really should have looked to play c6. It's the idea I have, c6 to d5, especially to close this diagonal. Game gives me a brilliant for this. I'm happy. I've neutralized. Life is good. And then I take this bish. We get this endgame where I'm slightly better, but I kind of immediately blow it. It's a shame. We get to an endgame where I'm a little bit better, but, you know, again, I just completely blow it. This is a great move. This move I missed. And unfortunately, she hangs checkmate, and I spot it. Well, guys, my accuracy was actually a little bit higher against Justin, believe it or not, like 1 or 2%. But 94, I played a hell of a game. Haley, you played well too. Please don't beat yourself up. It was fun to play you. Thank you for also reviewing the game with me afterward. I was very worried about that crazy line. That would have been a wild one too. You'll get the next one. I know, cheer up, chin up, that kind of thing. You still played very well. I mean, that accuracy is... I keep saying, anytime I have higher than 85% accuracy, I'm pretty happy. I think my median accuracy right now, and I'll look at my stats, is about 85%. So what it basically means is if I play at like an 86 or 87% level and I lose, I'm still fine. You know, I'm pretty happy. It's only the games where I play poorly and then lose that I really regret. And you didn't play poorly. You made one big mistake, but everything else that you did was really, really, really good. In fact, you were crushing it. You were cranking it. You were janking it. Anyway, thanks for the game. I'm going to end the video here. I'm going to end the stream. An hour 20, not bad, given I gave a lot of preamble. I'll add this to my spreadsheet. Have a good one, everyone. I'm going to stop streaming and stop recording. Let's see if that does both. Nope, the recording goes on. All right, I'll post this to YouTube. Have a good night, everybody.